Oh, that. Oh, okay. All right, here we go. So, yesterday we were working on this question. No, we're working on this question.
That one.
We were working on this question. So we didn't actually write down the stuff for, but let me just kind of go through the process again with you. And so I'll go through with the Inspire first, and then I'll go through with the TI 83 this time. Okay, so here is the data that's already entered the table here, and what we did from here was I said we select something in the first column, and then came to menu, statistics, stat calculations. I could do a linear regression, so number 3. Brought up this screen, and I do want my X's are in list A, and here this stuff will be in B, and I want to save the regression equation in F1, and I want to store my results not in column B, but in column C. So a column that doesn't have any data in it. Okay. Okay. Pretty good. Okay, so then what we see in column C here is our M and our B. So we have our slope is 0.85848, and our y-intercept we have 1635.7 stuff. And I did point out that this r squared tells us how good our regression equation is given the data. So 0.96, that's not far from 1. The closer this is to 1, the better our regression equation is. Okay, r we won't worry about, we'll just look at the r squared. Okay, so then if we want to look at a graph, I can come to menu, and what I didn't do today, but I mentioned yesterday, was, hold it, I don't want to come to menu, I want to come to the home screen, and do a graph here. So add graph, there we go, and if I scroll up, I can see my regression equation. If I hit enter, it'll be graphed, but I won't be able to see it at the moment. And I haven't done a scatter plot yet, so I can't see that data, so I can't zoom to that. So let me do the scatter plot right away. So again, menu, and I'll go to graph edit entry, choose number 5 for the scatter plot. My X values are in the column I called X, and Y values in the column I called Y. Hit enter, so now I can do a zoom to the data. And I can see my line, and I can see the scatter plot. Good. Okay, we will come and look at this again after I do it with TI 83. So here we have TI 83. And I've entered the data, and intentionally I left out one of the data pieces just so we see what's going to happen. So if we get an error message, we know, oh, this is why that error happened. Okay? So suppose I want to do a scatter plot, I do second y equals, and I want to turn this plot on. So I'll turn this on. Again, the first type is scatter plot, so that's what I'll want. X's are in list 1, Y's in list 2. So I'll just hit I can just hit graph. Ooh, look, I have error dimensions mismatch. So when you get a message that looks like this, it's telling you you have your X's and Y's don't all match up. In other words, you have more of one than the other, which is what happened as I entered the table. I didn't enter that last Y value. So I'll quit this, come back and edit my list, and come down, enter this last piece. Last piece? There should be more, right? Anyhow, I will enter more. So this is 84.22. And I guess I should come back here and enter the rest of these. 2007. Isn't it exciting watching me type? 77. Okay, so now we have all the data here. Okay, and I'll come back here. Whenever you get here, if you don't have data in your table and this plot is on, your graph is going to have problems and you're going to get an error message. So just be aware, once we leave this regression stuff and you just want to graph an equation, if this plot one is bolded like that, you may get an error message and you can just come here, scroll up, hit enter to turn it off. Okay, but I do want to see that scatter plot, so I'm going to leave it on for now. So, yeah, let's do the regression equation right away. So for that, I need to come to this home screen, the stat, and my calculate menu. And I'll pick number 4, which is the linear regression. Ooh, actually, I'm going to do something slightly different. So this I didn't talk about yesterday. So I'm going to clear this, and I'm going to come to the catalog, which is, where's the catalog of stuff? Oh, there we go. It's second function 0. So this lists all the functions that are built into the calculator. And what I want to find is diagnostics. So I want the letter D. There we go. And I'm going to scroll down here to get to diagnostics on. So I'm going to hit diagnostics on and enter. And what this will do for me is when I do my regression, it'll give me that R² value. So on the Inspire, it automatically gave you the R² thing, but on the TID384, it won't necessarily tell you the R² value. So this is just helpful information. Do you have to know how to do it? No, but it's useful for determining how good our regression equation is. So now I'll come and do the regression, number 4. And at this point, I want to come to variables, y variables function, and choose y1 so that it will store my data into equation 1 for the graphing. Now at this point, if I had put my data in different lists rather than column 1 and column 2, I'd actually put a list 1, comma, list 2, comma, y1. But if you always just use those first 2 columns in your list, then we only need to do the y1. I enter, there we can see the R² value. And when I come to y equals, I can see my equation there. And so I will do a zoom stat. There we go, we can see all the data. Good. And I'm going to hit trace so that I can see ordered pairs. So again, this P1, this is saying it's plot 1. So this tells you right now we're on the scatter plot. So as I scroll to the right, it's going to jump from one of the scatter plot points to the next one, and it gives me the ordered pair for each of them. So this is another way to check and see if you have entered it correctly. There are other ways to enter the list too, but as long as you know one way, we're good. If I scroll down, it gives me my regression equation. Okay, and that's what we were asked to do in question 7. Figure out a regression equation. So I'm just going to come back here to y equals and move this other way so I can actually write down that equation. And it has a whole pile of decimal places. I don't need them all. And so usually I'll tell you what to round it to, and if I haven't told you, just go to 2 or 3 decimal places. Okay? So we'll see my regression function. Why want to use x and y? Why not? Always remember that if I ask for an equation, you need to have like the y equals part. This is a sad place where people lose marks. If I say equation in the question, I want to see the equation. So we'll go 0.858 x minus 1635 point it turned off. Let's go with 733. Since I did to the nearest thousandth for the slope, I'll do that for the y-intercept as well. Good? Any questions? James is thinking about a question.
I didn't quite get all the steps on it. Then once you do, then where did you get the x value and then
These two values?
Yeah.
Nope, that's fine. So what I did was, you're using an 83, okay? So what I did was I came to y equals. So if you hit the y equals, then here I can see the 0.858, and then there's a bunch of decimal places. Eventually it gets to the x, and then the plus and negative, so it's actually minus the 1635.7. Yeah. So as long as you, when we did this linear regression, we did the y1. If we don't, then we have to come back to this screen, and there we see the slope, and there's the y-intercept, the value. Okay? Any other questions? Nope. All right, let's look at the next question, which is still tied to this one. We want to use a line of best fit to interpolate possible world records for 2006 and 2016. So we could do this using the equation, but for this question, we'll ask to use the line of best fit. So let me use one calculator for one of these and the other calculator for the next. So let me use the 83 plus, first of all, for the 2006. So I'm going to look at my graph, and actually I'll trace it. And then I want to make sure that I'm not on the data points, but I'm on the line. So I'm going to scroll down so that here I see my cursor is on Y1. And now since I'm tracing, all I have to do is just type in 2006, enter, ta-da, it jumps right to that point. So in 2006, we're predicting that the world record distance would have been about 86, and our data was 2 decimal places, right? So let's go with 86.38 kilometers being the distance traveled in 1 hour. So 86.38. I'm going to say it was probably about. Because again, we don't know exactly. We're just making predictions based on the trend that we could see. And now I can't remember what it was. What was it? 86.38 kilometers. Thank you. Good with that one? All right. Then, if we're using the Inspire, and I know the Inspire not as well, so I always have to think about what do I do? Let's show the function. Oh, that's not what I need to do. I need to trace on this function, right? So let's come here, and I'll choose number 5 to trace. And what was that? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. So it looks like I'm on the graph, and at this point, can I just take it in as well? Let's see. 2016. X is 2016. Excellent. Hit enter, and it jumps to my y value, and it's giving me a y value of 95. which isn't exactly what I want to see. I want to see more decimal places. Not what I wanted. Let's try this again. Oh, there we go. So, in your settings for the calculator, you can set how many decimal places you get. But we should also be able to, at this point, and if I touch it, will it work? What if I try this? That's not going to work. I have to be able to come here and select this value. Because actually I could save it and then copy it into another window, and it might give me more decimal places. So if you have this issue doing it during a test or a quiz, and you don't get as many decimal places as I asked for, then when you write the answer, just write a little note. My calculator rounded off here, and I couldn't get more decimal places, and I'll be flexible with how we mark that in. Okay, so we'll go with about 95 kilometers is the prediction for 2016. Okay, so let's say here that we predict that in 2016 the world record distance was about 95 kilometers. Yeah,
Can you show it on the TI-84?
yep.
Because I'm assuming it's different. Cause
It's going to be the same as the way we previously did it, but there's a twist. So I'm glad you asked.
like, because I was able to like figure out how to enter it, but I put in 2016 instead of 2006, and it gave me an error. So
Yeah, I will talk about that. But first, I want to compare these answers to what we had
okay.
when we did this on this question, right? So we did the same questions here. We were just given the data already on the graph. It was the same data, and then we used the regression equation we approximated with, and so our values are fairly close, right? So for 2006, we had, I should mark on here so that people who are viewing online can see what I'm talking about. 86.3 kilometers, about the same. And for 2016, about 95 kilometers. So getting fairly close answers. Go back to Chantal's question. Here on the TI 83 or 84, yeah, an issue that you can have with this calculator is if I trace and I type in 2016, no, that's not where I want to be. Trace. Make sure I'm on the equation for the line. There we go. 2016, enter. We get the error that you were mentioning. And why it's doing this is because we're asking for data that's outside our window. On the Inspire, it doesn't care. It'll jump to that point even if it's outside the window. But for us, we need to adjust our window so that we'll be able to see that point. So I'm going to come to window here, and I'll change my X max to 2020. And I'll trace. I can't see the Y value, but I think the Y value won't be a problem. Again, make sure that I'm on the regression equation. I'm not on the plots, so I'll scroll down. Now I'll type in 2016. And although I can't see the cursor, it is giving me a Y value of 94.96. Good? Thank you. That was a good question. Important question. Any other questions with this? Nope. Okay. Let me stop this recording and start a new one. To pause for station identification. This is the Mr. Wegner Network.